Imagine watching a 7'4" generational phenom just get ejected for an elbow and completely blow a playoff series.
Oh, man, it was wild.
Right. That is the kind of absolute chaos defining this postseason. So welcome to this deep dive into the latest NBA playoff madness and, off-season whispers.
Yeah, there is a lot to get into today.
For sure. We're skipping the basic highlights for you today.
Yeah.
And just digging straight into the tactical mechanics of why these series are flipping so violently.
Because the common denominator in all this chaos is discipline. Or, well, the total lack of it, really.
Yeah, exactly.
We are seeing real-time examples of how composure is just dictating the whistle, shifting momentum, and ultimately driving front office panic.
Right. Look at the whistle in the East. The Cavs just tied their series 2-2 with a 112-103 Game 4 win over the Pistons.
Yeah, a massive win.
Huge. And Donovan Mitchell drops an insane 39 points in the second half. But, the glaring stat is Cleveland shooting 34 free throws to Detroit's 12.
Oh, yeah.
And Cleveland is a perimeter-centric team. Jalen Duren was dropping rebounds. But rather than the Monstar skilling his talent, it just looked like he was constantly out of position and panic fouling.
Yeah, that's exactly the mechanism at play. Cleveland recognized that Detroit's bigs lacked discipline. They were biting on every single pump fake.
Oh, so they just totally adjusted their game plan.
Exactly. When a perimeter team realizes your interior defense is jumpy, they stop settling for threes. They just start driving purely to draw contact.
Right.
That massive free throw discrepancy forces Detroit's defense to completely back off, which, essentially neutralizes their own paint presence.
Which brings us to the ultimate example of indiscipline out west. OKC just destroys the Lakers. Sweep. A 115-110 Game 4 win.
An absolute demolition.
Truly. And everyone in the media is blaming Los Angeles for self-destructing with 19 turnovers. But looking at OKC's defensive rotations, I'm not convinced those were completely unforced.
You don't buy the self-destruction narrative.
Not entirely. It looked like OKC was deliberately trapping the ball handler to force those risky cross-court passes.
Well, you're spotting the tactical trap there. The Thunder weren't just playing passing lanes. They were stunting at the ball to create hesitation.
So it was completely by design.
Oh, absolutely. Those 19 turnovers were live ball scenarios feeding directly into 22 Thunder points. And that perfectly explains Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's clinical 35 points.
Because LA is caught backpedaling the whole time.
Exactly right. SGA's entire game is built on stop-and-go pace. He thrives when a defense is scrambling in transition instead of setting a half-court wall.
And, man, when a championship window violently slams shut because of that kind of collapse, front offices hit the panic button.
Oh, big time.
But that panic isn't just in LA right now. Reports just dropped that the Bucks are officially open for business regarding Giannis.
Yeah, and dropping that news during draft combine week?
Yeah.
That feels extremely calculated.
Wait, so it's like a pressure tactic?
It's a textbook pressure tactic. Much like a corporation defending against a hostile takeover by leaking potential mergers.
Wow.
With every front office gathered in one city for the combine, Milwaukee is forcing the market to show its hand.
Testing the waters for massive trade packages, like those whispers of pairing him with Bam in Miami.
Right, simultaneously evaluating that against retooling the roster. They need to know Giannis's exact market value to decide their path.
It is a high-stakes game of poker with a franchise cornerstone.
Right.
But it's not just the desperate veterans cracking under pressure.
No, definitely not.
Going back to that Wembanyama ejection, the Spurs lose. The Timberwolves tie that series 2-2 purely because of that premeditated elbow.
Yeah, a wild lack of composure.
But it fundamentally altered the geometry of the court for Minnesota, didn't it?
Precisely. Without Wembanyama's 8-foot wingspan anchoring the paint, the rim was entirely unprotected.
Which just opened the door for Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, Ant didn't just magically take over the fourth quarter. The ejection meant he no longer had to settle for contested pull-up jumpers. He could drive downhill aggressively straight to the cup.
Completely flipping the momentum of the entire series.
Yeah.
It's fascinating how one lapse in discipline just snowballs.
It really is.
Which makes what the Knicks are doing in the East so impressive. They just sweep the 76ers to advance to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, in a landscape full of wild swings and meltdowns, New York is the exact antithesis of that chaos.
They just play such mistake-free basketball.
And that isn't an accident. It's a direct result of Tom Thibodeau's scheme. By committing so heavily to offensive rebounding and highly structured defensive drop coverages, they suffocate the transition opportunities.
The exact stuff that teams like OKC thrive on.
Right. They force you into a grueling half-court game where discipline wins out.
It really leaves you with a massive question looking ahead to the finals. If veteran stars like Giannis or LeBron end up shifting teams this summer to chase rings, does the clinical, disciplined success of a young, homegrown team like OKC prove the super team era is finally dead?
That is a great question.
Definitely something for you to chew on. Thank you for listening. Please comment, like, subscribe. If you're on YouTube, Spotify, please leave a 5-star review. It will help the channel grow. Until next time, please check our previous episodes.